What's good? It's your boy Herb Tutter. Welcome back to the show, The Transition. Today I'm talking about advancing through your emotions. When I was teaching, I figured out how people stay stagnant, and it's normally because people don't understand the formula. So, a lot of times I would make sure everybody understood at whatever pace it was going to be before we advanced. What I realized as well is that if you know the formula, but you're still kind of in fear of making a mistake, that'll hold you in position as well. When you advance through your emotions, it's almost like building a house. I always tell people that relationships are kind of the same. If you don't have a strong foundation, you don't put kids on top of that. You don't try to propose and put a ring on a person's finger if you know 100% that you haven't put the work in with this person. A relationship is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job, and if you guys are not getting along with each other or you haven't figured each other out, it probably wouldn't be good to put children on top of such a weak foundation. Advancing through your emotions is the exact same way. When you see that you got the formula and you got some success, don't get excited about that one victory because that's one battle. That's not the war, so you have to put yourself in a position to advance every time you do something. So when laying that foundation, you got to start thinking, okay, so we got to build up and we got to build out. My motion continues to do that for myself, and I use myself as an example, and I use my brother, DJ West One, and I use my other little brother, El Dorado Jones. Every time they do something and every time I do something, I'm looking to spark something else. And what I mean by that is that Psychedelic in My Mind opened the door for us to actually release other albums. So I opened the door for my brother to release his album. He's opening the door now because he's got like 230,000 streams. So he's opening the door for me to release my dark side. This is what I'm talking about, is that when the fire strikes, you got to continue to move on. You can't just be happy with that one victory and then sit there because it fizzles out. And once it fizzles out, it's your fault that you didn't take advantage of that 5-second fame. So for me, what I've done is that, man, I released my album, and I'm just talking about of recent. I released my album, I Am Who I Say I Am Part 1. But right before that, I had decided to get back in touch with my agency, make sure that the acting was moving in the right direction. Started this year with the motivational speaking, as I'm doing right now. I've got I want to say pretty much 91 to 92,000 minutes watched since January. And that's because I continue to stay in motion, but I always advance my motion. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to make sure that I continue to grow and build on top of it because the foundation is solid. You'll know in business when it's not, because it'll fizz out and you're going, okay, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. But I noticed that a lot of our youth, and I'm not even going to put that on the youth, a lot of people, because we're afraid to advance past what we know, the familiarity of what we've done and how we've done it, we stay stuck because we're afraid. We're afraid to go in uncharted waters. I could not imagine that I would be mentally advanced if I would have stayed on 79th and Ellis my whole life. And that's nothing against the east side of Chicago, but the reality is that you got to get out and see more stuff to understand what's going on in the world. If you're stuck in one spot, then the reality is that that's your fault and you put yourself in that position to stay stagnant. I'm a person that I can't stand staying stagnant for myself. So what I've done is that I've already figured out the dark side 100%. I only have a couple more songs to record, and that's done, and that's not coming out until next year. So I've already figured out where my starting point is on the next CD, A Hero to a Villain. 2 movies I'm in this year, and that's because of getting in touch with the agent, making sure that the agency continues to put my name out there when projects come through the upper Northwest, and this is what I'm talking about when I say you got to continue to advance yourself through your motions, but you don't advance if you're afraid of, number one, advancement. Number two, if you don't build on what you've done and how you've done it. You have to think building up and out on any motion that you have. Listen, you live once. Why wouldn't you try to see something different? A lot of times people said when we were younger, they don't have any, idea of where they're going, and because of the drive-bys, the gang activity and everything else, is that our life expectancy was 21. I don't know. I think because we were built a different way is that I saw past that. Even though it was just as deadly as it is now, drive-bys were happening then, and you had to make some quick decisions in the street, and you had to, back then you had to have some hands. So you had to knock a few people out to get on where you was going. Even then, music was still my outlet. By me actually being blessed by my parents to see Michael Jackson live, it showed me his work ethic, and I got a chance to build on my own work ethic. Now, with emulating him and a few other people when I was younger, and then also seeing the determination in Michael Jordan when he was playing with the Bulls, man, it shows me that they continue to build on their motion. They continue to build on the work that they have, and they're not afraid to actually stretch out. So today I'm telling everybody, man, advance through your motions. Whatever doors you open, make sure that you are ready with the next project. Don't be excited and ecstatic about that one victory or one battle that you won, because it's a war. It's not just one battle. You got to be ready to do more. I always tell this to the guys that I mentored. I've tried to even say this to my sons. Do not get excited about people cheering because you showed up. You're going to have to show up and show out. Don't expect everybody to be excited because you showed up. And that is what's killing a lot of us today, is that we think that everybody's just supposed to be excited because we showed up. We're not supposed to do anything else. That's why a lot of the rest of us are advancing, because I'm okay with that. That's why I say, doing music is like taking candy from a baby, because you're excited about the one good song that you got. I'm excited about the next album that I do. I'm excited about the right promotional people moving my song. I am now on the top 50 indies rap playlist now, and yes, I'm 100% an indie artist, and I'm 100% happy about that. But that's not where I'm stopping, because I'm going to start talking to the promotional people at the end of this week to figure out what other playlists can I get on. What other avenues can I push my album through to open up more doors so I can build? Advance through your motions. Continue to move. Try to do something different, and don't just stay stagnant in what you were doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's crazy. But 20 years ago, if you're doing the exact same thing, then that shows me that you haven't figured out the formula yet to advance yourself to where you're supposed to be. Advance yourself through your motions. It's your boy Herb Dot, man. Listen, do something for somebody else. Trust me. It'll give you a chance to figure out where you're supposed to be. Come on back. I'm going to have some more segments. Holla at your boy.